Today, the title of today's topic is, Should Emotional Medicine Have Won the Nobel Prize? Now, let me give you some context. The Nobel Prize this year was won by 3 scientists who discovered a piece of immunity. So just letting you know that. So to back into this, first we need to understand there is an epidemic right now worldwide with autoimmune diseases. There are 50 million Americans currently living in the United States right now who have an autoimmune disease, and the worldwide rate of autoimmune diseases is rising at up to 19% a year, year after year. And the sharpest rise in autoimmune diseases is in adolescence. So what we are seeing now is only going to be increasing as we continue forth. This epidemic is only growing, and here at A New Life Center, we are at the forefront of it. Now, first, let's establish what is an autoimmune disease. Now, an autoimmune disease is a disease in which our body's immune system, it becomes dysregulated, and it starts to attack the very tissues and organs of our body that it was designed to protect. So for instance, my multiple sclerosis, that happened when my immune system started attacking the myelin sheath. Or for rheumatoid arthritis, it's attacking the joint lining. Now, autoimmune diseases were first discovered in 1904 by a German physician. His name was Paul Ehrlich. And actually, a few years later, he won, in 1908, he won the Nobel Prize for identifying the basic principle of immunity. Now, 121 years later, in the year 2025, scientists, researchers, doctors, they are no closer to finding a cure to autoimmune diseases than they were, and understanding them, than they were in 1904. Now, this complete inability to understand and to show how far in the weeds science and medicine is 121 years later, I want to highlight what happened this last Monday. Last Monday, they awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine and Physiology to 3 scientists whose research on the immune system identified the presence of T cells, regulatory T cells. Now, a little history on the Nobel Prize. The Nobel Prize is a prestigious award awarded to individuals whose achievements, quote, confer the greatest benefit to humankind. And what they did was identify T cells, and T cells protect the immune system. This discovery of T cells is inconsequential. It has no practical application to the treatment and permanent healing of autoimmune diseases. What they discovered, the presence of T cells, is like finding a needle in a haystack. And it has no relevance to autoimmune disease healing. And it's definitely not one of the greatest benefits to humankind. And actually, one of the 3 recipients, scientists of this award, he actually voiced surprise at the win. And he stated that while he thought that their discovery of the T cells actually needed time to advance and to be shown to be beneficial to people in a clinical study, which it hasn't yet, that it hasn't even been demonstrated to be beneficial to humans with autoimmune disease whatsoever. So awarding this Nobel Prize, right, to these researchers in the immune system, what that does is it makes us as individuals believe mistakenly that science and medicine are somehow progressing in autoimmune diseases. When the truth is that really what it does is it shows how lost, how disconnected, and truly how in the weeds science, research, medicine is to finding the true solution to autoimmune diseases in the face of this growing worldwide epidemic. And just a side note right here for myself, one of the autoimmune diseases I had was called CVID, and I regularly got my T cells tested, which were always dysregulated. Let me tell you what, I'm permanently healed from all my autoimmune diseases, including CVID, and that permanent healing had nothing to do with addressing my T cells, which are now, by the way, perfectly re-regulated. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch today. If you have an autoimmune disease or chronic illness, are frustrated with medications, supplements, or food diets, and are ready to start the journey to finally and permanently healing your condition, I have 2 13-week online self-guided educational programs, the Autoimmune Healing Program and the Chronic Illness Healing Program. Both programs teach you how to permanently heal your autoimmune disease or chronic illness, leave behind those doctor's visits and symptom management, and to finally heal without supplements, medication, or food diets. This is the same journey I took and why I am over 10 years completely healthy. All 8 of my autoimmune diseases and chronic illnesses are permanently gone. You can find the link to apply for a complimentary course consultation with me down in the description below. And if you're not ready to take this step, watch my free 101 course on autoimmune diseases and chronic illnesses. You'll also find the link to watch this down in the description. And again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch today. I look forward to you permanently healing your autoimmune disease or chronic illness.